Let me start again. Rambwillet? Rambulet? How would you say that Englishly? Welcome to my podcast. This is my last podcast from Canada. I'm Naomi and this is NJ Knits, where I talk about my knitting. My mouth is a little bit blue because I had some blueberries for breakfast and I get them frozen and then I heat them in the microwave. So I think heated frozen blueberries are much more stainy than fresh ones for some reason. That's an interesting question. All my dyers out there. Why is that? Anyway, I don't have much time, so I'm going to be doing this podcast in parts. Very exciting, right? This is my last 2 days in Canada before I have 2 weeks holiday, and I won't be podcasting while I'm on holiday, but if I don't podcast now and then come back, I'll have too much stuff or I'll have given it all away, so I want to update you before I leave. So I've got 2 finished objects, well, almost finished, and then I've got 3 whips to show you. So let's get into it. Hopefully I can do this. I've only got like 20 minutes. But I'll come back to it and do some more in a bit if I can't. So if you're new here, thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe below. If you are returning, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy reading your comments and knowing that you're there and chatting to you. Please also like this video. I think that makes it more people watch it. Otherwise, here we go. First FO is my socks. It's not quite finished because I haven't woven in the ends. I know, very strange for me, but these are the Tipsy Toe Socks by, I'll put the name up. I've forgotten the name. They are a free pattern on a blog. You can get them on a blog. There's a link on Ravelry. They look different because I changed my stitch count for the second one. This is on my own hand-dyed yarn, and it's supposed to be, it's DK weight, I would say. So I had to change the pattern because I needed to do 36 stitches for a DK weight sock. So this is the the toe up sock pattern where you do wedges, short row wedges to make the toe shape. Instead of starting here, you start here and you go this way, which is really fun. And for a self-striping yarn, it looks quite cool. So this is my second one. It's more organized because I knew how many stitches I wanted to do. And I made it opposite so that the starting edge was on opposite sides. I don't think it really matters. I think they're quite symmetrical, the actual toe shape. But it's kind of nice that they're opposites. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, but I should have done one with a gusset. I didn't, because my Fish Lips Kiss heel always needs a gusset, I think. And then I just did a longish leg. I never count my rows. A lot of people count rows for socks. Do you count rows for socks? I never do. I just do it randomly until I sort of eyeball it and I'm like, that looks good. I do count rows for ribbing because I want it to be, you know, the same. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that seems like a good amount of ribbing, and then I count it and I'm like, oh no, I want this number instead of that, so I'll add another row. I'm like, oh, I want 9, not 8, or I want 12, that sounds like a nice number. Looks like I've done different numbers of ribbing anyway, even though I did count. Never mind. So here they are. This is a little bit more washed out than they actually are. I might try turning off the light and just using natural light. That was a whip I've just destroyed. Complete destruction. I think that's a little bit more accurate, yeah. So yeah, it's a fun colorway, and I was really pleased that it turned out stripy. I was expecting it to just be, pooly, unprofessional pooled self-dyed yarn, but it turned out mini stripes, which is so fun. Anyway, my mum's gonna love these. They're for my mum for her birthday, which is today. I need to call her. That's what I should be doing right now. Ooh. But I've already started. Ooh. I'll call her on my way to work. Okay. I'll show you my other finished object. This is my Mystic Square by James N. Watts. This pattern is so much fun. I talk about it in my last episode if you want to watch it. Why you should knit it if you want. It's a lot of fun. It's very satisfying. You're always doing something. And I did this in just a silk mohair held double. And this was a skein of yarn that was already like that. So the skein of yarn started here with this purple colour. And then it went here into this red, and then it kind of stayed in this red along the front, and then down this side, and then it kind of almost went purpley again, and I was like, how much purple is in this? And then it went more purple here, and then it just like abruptly changed to this sort of like, I don't know, teal colour, like a mild teal colour. And then you do the back, which is exactly the same as the front, so it's reversible, you can wear it different colours. Then it was this mild teal colour, and then it went back to purple, and I was like, I'm so tired of purple, why are we constantly going back to purple? And then it was here, purple, and then more purple, and then again, another like abrupt change to a sort of a teal colour, but like a lighter version. And then it started getting to this like spring grass green colour, and then it stayed on this springy grassy green colour, and then it sort of stayed like that, and it started going yellow once you get to the sleeves and then the bottom. And the bottom's almost going white, and then the rest of the skein that's left over is white, and then there's one more colour change and it goes to baby pink, which is a very incongruous colour with all of these colours here, in my opinion. And so I'm kind of glad that it didn't need that. I'll show you the rest. This is the leftovers from the hand-dyed yarn for my mum's socks. So I'll probably use this for scrappy socks, DK weight socks. And then this is the leftovers of the Mystic Square. So on the inside you can see it's got some white and a bit more yellow, I think. A bit of a yellowy colour, and then it goes to this baby pink, which I just feel is it's a very incongruous colour with all of these. Maybe not. I don't know. What do I know about colour? So the only modification I did, I'm not happy with. I just picked up stitches randomly. I always find it difficult to pick up like a number of stitches unless the pattern tells you like pick up 3 for every 4. If it's just like pick up 65 stitches, I'm like, and I have watched videos on it. I think the thing that probably is gonna most likely the way I could do it is you like half it and quarter it, and you half and quarter the amount of space you have. So if it was like I needed to pick up 60 stitches for this sleeve, I would sort of put a stitch marker halfway up each side of the sleeve and say, right, okay, 60, 30, I need 15 in this small space, and then you kind of randomly pick up 15. But even that I find really annoying and stressful because, I don't know, it's just difficult. It's like I'd rather have something specific. It's kind of why I don't like crochet. It's like I don't like finding the stitch. I want to just know where it is and I know exactly what I'm supposed to do with it. this kind of like loosey-goosey thing I'm not into. So I was like, I'll just pick up at the same ratio that I was picking up along the sides and then along here. So where it was the side, I picked up 3 for every 4, and where it was here, I just picked up 1 to 1 because it's the same. It's knitted this direction. And I wasn't happy with that because I ended up with too many stitches at the sleeves and they kind of frilled out. And also, I definitely have 2 different quantities of sleeves stitches, if you can see here. I don't know why, because I did the same thing. But you seam this garment, so I might have seamed it slightly higher on one side, maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, it looks all right now after blocking. It's not as annoying. I mean, it being a little bit frilly isn't helpful for it being like bright yellow as well. I think probably for the fit that James has on this, I should have had an even bigger size slightly, because it's a little bit tight. It doesn't do as much like flopping and loosing down. I'll show some pictures of it on. But it's still kind of cool. I still kind of like it. So I think I might keep it, at least for now. It's also really soft and comfy to wear. Really warm. And I took this walking with me, and I finished it on my walk, and I was actually kind of chilly because I was wearing just like a camisole, and so I just popped it on. I hadn't woven in my hands because I didn't have my case with me, my notions pouch with me with a tapestry needle, so I just kind of like tucked it under. It's mohair, so it kind of sticks to itself, and just wore it, and it looks pretty bad because it wasn't blocked. It looks so much better now it's blocked. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna show you one of my whips. This is the thin air sweater, and I've got a silly story for you. So here's the thin air sweater by Lily Kate. It's a raglan v-neck sweater. I'm making it in lace weight Brooklyn tweed veil, which is Rambouillet. As a PS about the whole French thing, the reason why it was such a disaster last week saying the word Rambouillet, I guess, was because I was trying to think of how on earth a non-francophone, like English-speaking English person would pronounce that word. Like, because I actually speak some French. Like, speak a fair bit of French. So, like, I know how to pronounce French words as if I was trying to pronounce French, but I had no idea how you would pronounce that if you were trying to be English. Like, if you're trying to pronounce it Englishly, I had no clue. So I was trying out different things, and then I just gave up and said it in a more French way, like Rambouillet. But Rambouillet? How would you say that Englishly? I don't know. That was what I was confused about. I wasn't attempting to pronounce French and doing really, really badly. Although I suppose, who cares if that's what it looked like, you know? I don't have that much of an ego in regards to that. But more on a clarification side of things, that was what was occurring. That was why I was like, I find that really fascinating, like when, yeah, like you have to put yourself in the mind of someone who doesn't understand the sound system and how the spelling works, and then pretend like you're seeing those sounds together and saying the word. And also then you have the difference between American and English, because, you know, Americans would probably say I don't know if they would say the L's as a y, like Rambouillet, or if they would say Rambouillet. They might say Rambouillet, I don't know. But then English people, you know, you've got fillet in America and then fillet in England. So then it's like, well, how would English people pronounce that? Like rambwillet, rambeelit, rambweelit. I don't know. And then how would Americans say it? Rambuele. I'm going down this whole path again, and my only point was to say, never mind. I guess it's just individual. Someone might look it up and know how to pronounce it Frenchly. Other people might just go, I'm not saying that. It looks really full of vowels and L's and things. Anyways, I'm going to stop. Point is, this is a really nice yarn. And I'm making the thin air sweater. The problem that came for me was that I misread the pattern, and you do the raglan increases every other row, but you do not do the V-neck increases every other row, and I was doing that. So I had this V that was at the wrong angle, and I stressed about it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to rip out this entire thing, because this is a lot of work on lace weight yarn, like a day and a half. And I was like, I'm not ripping out this whole thing. Like, I don't mind ripping back a bit if I need to, but just fully frogging the entire thing that I've done, I was just like, oh, I'm loving knitting with this yarn. So, I mean, that's a bit silly, but I was just like, I just don't want to. I hate ripping back. I just hate it. So I was like, well, what Roxanne Richardson sometimes does is if she has to rip back, she'll just leave it and get into a new ball and start again, so she doesn't have to like have that like psychological thing of ripping back. She still intends to rip it back, but she's just going to leave it. So she's not going to have that job of ripping it back first. She's just going to start a new ball, start again, and then when she has to get into that one, she will. And she'll just knit straight off it sometimes, which sounds so much more satisfying than having to rip it all back and just like watch your work go away. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do that instead. Then I thought, wait a minute, I bought one extra ball of wool than I needed. I bought 4 when I needed 3. And I got that amazing Goodwill haul. And in it was lace weight yarn from Spin Cycle that goes perfectly with this colour. And I was like, this could just become a tee. Like, it could just become a raglan tee with this colour in it. And it didn't, it doesn't have to be the thin air sweater. It's just a raglan tee with a V-neck, but like a short V-neck. And then I can just make the actual sweater I wanted to make, and all's well. So I'm leaving this half done, because I'm assuming I might need to get into this ball to finish the thin air, but I've got 3 other balls of wool, 3 skeins of wool, to make the thin air sweater. And so this is now on hold. This little bit of yoke is on hold, waiting for me to finish the thin air, and then whatever leftovers I have, oddballs, as it were, I'm going to use in my raglan tee, which is now halfway started. So that's the solution I came up with. Yay! All right, I'm going to pause it there and come back to you with more. So it is the next day, but today's my last day of work. I'm going to work in a bit, and then I get to have a holiday. I'm so excited. So I showed you the aborted, this should be called my aborted thin air. The abortive thin air sweater. So this is going to not be a thin air because I did the V wrong. I made it too shallow instead of, it's meant to be a totally different angle. So instead this is going to become a T. And I thought I would make it in whatever oddball I had left after making the thin air, and then I would add this to it. So I think I'm going to do the neckline in this, and then do like the sleeves in it, maybe? I'm not sure exactly. Maybe the ribbing of the sleeves in it, and then I'll do like, I think striping and then the rest in it, but did occur to me, I don't know how much I'm going to have left over of this, and I don't know if 450 meters is going to be enough, because this is lace weight, and I am doing this on 3.75 needles, So I don't know if this is going to be enough. So I went back to the shop and I got one more thing of veil in a different colour. So I was thinking that I could do this and this striped underneath. But then part of me is like, I maybe just want to use all of this. So I don't know, I need to make like a definitive decision at some point, but not now because I'm not even working on this now. So this is on hold until I finish the thing that's actually using this yarn. And when I put things on hold, I know this is really easy to spit splice, so I could have just used up the rest of the ball to start the new one, but I decided to just leave it because there's part of me that's like kind of interested to know exactly how much I use to make the thin air. So if I start with a fresh ball, I'll know. So this is my actual thin air, which I actually now have more progress on than the aborted thin air. So here it is. It's now getting quite scrunched up on the needles. So see the difference in that V? That's a much, I mean, it's harder to see, I guess, but because the thing is so scrunched on the needles, but the difference in the V here. I don't know. Whatever. Point is, here's my actual thin air, and I've still got a ways to go on this yoke, but that's okay. It's a real pleasure to work with this yarn. It's so springy and bouncy, and you can tell in the fabric how springy it is as well. And it's really light, and I can tell it's going to be really nicely temperature regulating and like just like keep you warm when it needs to, but also just it's gonna just, I don't know. And for a lace weight yarn knit at 3.75, even like pre-blocking, this is pretty amazing at how non-see-through it is, in my opinion. Like, it is see-through. Don't get me wrong, it's see-through. But it's not as see-through as you would expect a lace weight to be at 3.75. I don't know. At least as not as see-through as I would expect a lace weight to be at 3.75. So yeah, this is going to be my thin air. This is my first ball of it, so I think I'm about halfway through. Yeah, I'm more than halfway through the increases, I think. So it'll be probably another bit before I join in the round. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I think it's turning out really prettily, really beautiful. The colour is showing up pretty well. It's a sort of, I guess it's a greige. The colourway is Morel, M-O-R-E-L. And the other colourway that I got when I went back to get one more like bonus skein, just in case skein, the colourway of this one is Parchment. And I'd say it's like a really like muted, to me it's like a muted dusty mustard. But yeah, it's called Parchment. I guess it's like Parchment if it gets really old and goes yellowy. I was gonna go with like a bluish grey, but for some reason this one felt better to me. I'm not sure if it went better with this, because I actually brought this with me. I don't know, I like these together. I would prefer it without anything, with just the pink, but I don't know how to... I guess I'll just have to see how much I have left and then make it and think about it more then. So I'm not sure how to try and do it with just the pink. And then if I need to incorporate the yellow without incorporating the yellow early before I need it. You know what I mean? Anyways. So this is like my mindless project when I'm not doing socks. And I'm very slowly tinkering away on my sock for my friend for his 30th, which already passed, but I won't see him until the end of June, so I'll have these done by then. This is the sock yarn that I skeined up, I think, or I balled up last time. It's kind of washing out a little bit. This is a bit better. So here's my sock. It's hand-dyed and self-striping, and to me it doesn't feel like it's superwash, but I don't know because I don't think it had the tag, or I lost the tag a while ago. So it's got that sort of tactile feeling, that like sticky feeling. It's definitely not, if it is superwash, it's not the slippery type of superwash. I haven't woven my end in yet, which I probably will do really soon. But yeah, I'm really, really, really liking it. I love that there's like this grey in the background. I'm slightly tempted to do a afterthought heel, like a true afterthought heel. Just because I'd quite like to do contrast, and I don't have any yarn that would work for contrast. Ideally, it would be really nice to do contrast in his favourite colour for the heel and the toe, this purplish blue, but I don't have any of that. So I know I have some grey at home and I could easily do the contrast in grey, or I could just not do contrast and just do it all in this stripy colourway, which could be cool as well. But yeah, I've done 60 stitches because this is for a guy and it's a bit bigger, and I've done it on 2.25mm needles. For me, 60 is a lot for a sock, but actually this is turning out fine, I think. On me, it's loose, like it would be pretty loose, I think, on my ankle, but it's not like crazy loose. So I think this will fit him really well. I do have his measurements at home, but I didn't bring those and I don't have them here. So that wasn't very helpful, was it? But I've been taking this with me in the car, and then when I'm at a red light, just like doing like 2 or 3 stitches and then putting it down. I don't know. I've been finding that really quite nice. It makes traffic so much easier to deal with. I hate driving. I really don't like it. But when I have to, I do. So I think that's all to say about this. I'm enjoying it. It's going by really quickly. Self-striping kind of does, doesn't it? I love socks for going on walks. I'll probably take this with me on my backpacking trip in a couple weeks. I'll probably take it with me camping, although I'll probably also take my thin air camping as well because it's car camping. But this will definitely come backpacking with me, and you know, just out and about. It's a small thing. It can get shoved in my pocket or something. And I just like having some knitting with me. It's almost like a reassuring thing, like, oh, it's okay, I have some knitting with me. Even though I don't get it out, I just knowing that I have it makes me feel more relaxed. I have a bit of a phobia, or a, like, it's got a name and I always forget it, but I've got like a phobia of certain like chewing noises and like spit noises. So sometimes like meals can be a struggle for me, like sharing meals or being out in restaurants or something, especially if there's like someone, or even trains, like just if someone's got a packet of crisps or something, and it can really calm me down to know that I have something to like distract me or focus my mind a little bit on something else, and to feel like I'm not just sitting there like struggling. I'm doing something else as well. Even though I'm still struggling, I'm like doing something else, and it really makes me feel better about the situation. So it's, yeah, I guess somehow just like sitting and struggling is awful, but then like sitting, struggling, and also knitting, it's so much easier to deal with. So it's really nice to have that. Also, loop earplugs are amazing. For me, they filter out exactly what I need them to filter out. They filter out those, like, I guess there's a certain like pitch or resonance that like saliva makes noises at, and those loop earbuds really do filter that out for me, which is great. I just need to remember to have them with me more often. But anyways, moving on to my next whip. This is very exciting. It's very beautiful, and I'm really excited about it. I am making the Lydia 2.0 by Courtney Little. And here it is. It's funny showing lace because like you see through it and then you see the other side, so you can't really see the lace very well. Let me like pick up the back. There we go. I don't know how to show this to you. I'm almost done with the lace section. That's nice. I'm almost done with the lace section. And I'm doing this in Summer in Cashmere by BC Garn. I got this in Prague last spring, I think, just before coming to Calgary the first time. And it was on sale, and it is 90% organic cotton and 10% cashmere, and it was 155 crowns, or it was on sale from that, I'm not sure. So yeah, I have quite a few balls of this. I think I have 5 balls of this, and it comes in 50-gram balls, and it has 165 meters for one ball. So this is what I've got left of the first ball, and I'm almost done with the lace section. And it's a cropped tank, so that's going to be a fair portion of it, just a bit more before I break for the underarms. I think it is meant to sit about here, and then then come to here, and then the front kind of does this, and then the back has a V. I've had my eye on this tank top for so long. So yeah, really excited about this. It's going really well. I'm doing it a needle size down from the suggested needle. I'm doing it on 3.5, just because I'm a loose knitter, and when I did my gauge swatch, I actually thought that the correct needle size was, the fabric was a bit looser than what I wanted. So yeah, I did a needle size down, and I'm making the size 3. I might actually be making the size 4. No, I'm doing the size 3. It was a big like back and forth whether I should do the 3 or the 4. The 4, because I'm loose, and I did go down a needle size, but I was still on the verge of being a little bit loose. Like I think I was on gauge, but just possibly a little bit looser side of on gauge. And so I thought, if I do the 4, which is technically my size, if not, the 4 would be exactly my size, and it's meant to have negative ease. And if I'm a little bit loose, it'll be more than my size. And if it's meant to have negative ease, we'll go with the one that's a little bit, like quite a lot of negative ease, and then hopefully I'm a little bit loose, and then that'll be okay. We'll see. That's the concept anyways. So yeah, that's the Lydia tank, and that is my whip. So I currently am just working away on the thin air Lydia tank when I have some time to like do something a bit more interesting, and then the sock for out and about or in the car or walking. Well, actually, I'm still doing the thin air as my walking project because it's still really simple at the moment and small enough to do whilst walking. So mostly that's why the sock isn't growing very quickly, because I'm doing the thin air most of the time, and then the Lydia when I'm not doing the thin air. So I guess I'm going to give you my top 10 tank pattern recommendations. And this is just like my top, so it's not necessarily like it's not necessarily like underrated. It's just my particular ones that I have in my queue that are my favorites. So I'm gonna go from, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I actually have 10. Yes, so it's my top 10. So at number 10, we have the Thea top by Suzanne Muller. And this one just looks like a really, really nice, perfect, basic tank. I might even make it with my BC Garn when I finish the Lydia, because I'm sure I'll have enough for 2 tops. It's super basic. It's got a really nice silhouette. And to be honest, it's quite similar to the Take Turns tank that I just finished, although it's meant to be a bit looser and a bit flowier, and it has a bit of more of an open crew neck. The crew neck goes a bit more open. So I just think it's really beautiful, and I definitely want to make it this summer. Second one. Now this one I was back and umming and ahhing about making, and I ended up choosing the Lydia top instead. This is the Cotton Camisole by Jennie Atkinson, and this is so cute. It's got so many cute details. There's picot edge around here, and it laces here, and then it has like buttons down the front. It's got some shaping and almost like darts at the back with a little almost like pleated situation. And then it's got really interesting, beautiful, detailed lace and cables down the front. And I just think it's a gorgeous piece, and I'd love to make it. I'm just sort of been not doing that. I'm not sure if I want to make any modifications. It's meant to have a little bow that comes through the eyelets at the top, and then it's meant to have like buttons. Part of me kind of wants to make it without the buttons and just straight, but I actually think the buttons are a really cute detail. I'm not sure. I might just go for it and just make it exactly as the pattern says. Next, number 7, we have the Tulip top by Mathilda cruse. And I think this is a really gorgeous piece. I was considering making it for my mum as well. The pattern comes with information for making it a tank or a tee, and I think it's a tee with fitted sleeves. It's got a small V at the front and then a bigger V at the back, and it's got this gorgeous lace detail down the back. And I think this does lace really well. I sometimes find lace feels a bit much for me. But this is just so simple. The front is total, just plain stockinette, and the back just has this V that goes from the shoulders, meets at the V, and goes down, so it's like a Y shape. And I think it's just so stunning. I think it's really, 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 really pretty. And I actually like both it as a tee and a tank. I kind of like both. I would quite like to have both. So that's number 7. Number 6 is Next is another one by Suzanne Muller. This is the Zoe top, and this is a ribbed racerback top, and it is, I think, meant as like a bralette or a crop top. I think it's really cute. I love the racerback. I think she does the racerback really well. I've done one other racerback top, and I didn't love the construction of how it was constructed, and this just looks really great. It looks really, really nice, and I think it looks great as a bralette, and also maybe even better as a longer like actual camisole. So, now I'm looking at all of these. I really want to make them. I really want to make this Zoe top now. Might actually do that with my leftover summer in cashmere. That would be really cool. Okay, number 5 is the Casper top by Johanna gehrisch. Kohlrabi by Johanna. And when I saw the Casper top, I was like, yes, need it. I think it's done in 5mm needles, and it's done with mohair. I think the top is done maybe with, no, I think it's all just done with one strand of mohair. It's just so cute. It's got like, it sort of comes to here and then it ruffles out from there, which I've never seen anything like that before. It kind of comes here and ruffles a little bit, and then it just, you go as long as you want to go from there. It's pretty transparent. It's got like a keyhole at the back. It just seems like the perfect thing, and it would probably be a great way to use like an oddball of mohair, silk mohair. I think it uses 600 meters. Oh, that's quite a lot, actually. So yeah, maybe the top is done in the 5mm and the rest is done in smaller needles. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's a really cute top. I've seen people have made dresses in it as well. I just think it's a beautiful top. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to make this for sure. Number 4 is one that I've made twice now, and that is the Sugarboo bralette by gehrisch. And I really like this. It's really simple. It's really well described and constructed. It's very simple. It's the 4 cups. You do a cup, and then you join in the round and go round. So it's top down, which is, now it's getting more popular as a camisole construction, but when I found it, I hadn't found a lot of others that were top down. It's great for using up that odd ball of yarn because you can do top down, so then you can use up all the yarn and just go as long as you can. And it's also great because it's a bralette made in Aran weight yarn, so that's really nice as well because usually they're done in fingering. So it's a really quick project. I've done one as a gift and one for myself out of an oddball after finishing a sweater, actually. So they're perfect oddball project, the Sugarboo bralette. Number 4 is the Tie Tank by Hannah Singleton. And this is like a backless tank with a high neck at the front. And I just think it's gorgeous, both front and back. The front is really simple and cute. It's just like, I think it's just rolled stockinette sleeves, and then it's quite a high front. You can tell I like a high front in a cami or a tank, and then the back just goes all the way down to the base of your back and ties. And I just think it's really cute. It's a really fun, summery look. Looks like it would be really quick to make. Great for like the beach, or just, wanting to look fabulous. And there's lots and lots of really cute pictures in the pattern page on Ravelry, which I'll link all of these patterns that I'm discussing below, so you can have a look at them. So yeah, that's the tie tank. That's number 4. Number 3. I might have done this wrong. I think I'm at number 2, actually. I must have miscounted at some point. Number 2 is the Danny by Courtney Little. And I just love the picture of this. I think it's a really cool looking construction. And the first image of this top, I've got yarn that looks exactly like it. And I really just want to make it with that exact yarn. It's a really interesting top. The everything's done in like a bit of, I think it looks like twisted rib maybe, but it sort of like comes out in this direction, which I think is really interesting. And the back is also really interesting. It's a racer back, but it just kind of like overlaps. I think it's just an interesting looking top, and I have yarn that looks just like the first picture, so I just want to make it. It's meant to be a crop top, and yeah, I think it's a really interesting construction and interesting look, and I'm excited to make it. So the final one, this is one that's been in my queue for ages, and I do have yarn for it, is the Ingrid top by Gregoria Fibers. And this is a pretty simple looking eyelet top, very simple like eyelet pattern all the way down. It's done with a sport weight yarn at 3.5mm needles, and yeah, that's basically it. It's a top down crew neck, you know, thick sleeved top. So yeah, those are all my top 10 summer tanks. Top 10 summer tanks for you today. I just added those in, and I still have plenty of time. So for the next couple weeks, I'll be working on my thin air sweater. I will be finishing my Lydia tank, and then potentially starting up a couple other summer projects. Maybe I'll choose one of those tops that I spoke of and make it with the rest of my summer yarn that I brought with me, or make it with some of the ridiculous quantities of other yarn that I bought. I'm also going to Portland, Oregon, which is the home of Brooklyn Tweed, and I'm assuming many, many, many other beautiful yarns and yarn dyers, and that's also fairly worrying. So yeah. Anyways, well, thanks so much for joining me. It was a pretty short one today, but I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a lovely time. You carry on knitting fearlessly on, and please do like, and if you haven't subscribed, consider doing that if you want to, and share if you can or want to, because would love to grow the channel and reach out to more people and see more people. And I've got a Discord where we've done one knit party, and that was really fun. That's, I think, the best way to call it, a knit party, because it's not always a night and time zones and stuff. So yeah, it was a knit party on Discord, and that was really fun. There was about 6 of us, I think. So we'll be doing them periodically at different times, different days. But head over to Discord. It's njknits is the name of the server. And if you can't find it, just grab me on Instagram or pop me an email or a Ravelry message if you like. But Instagram will be pretty quick reply. My Instagram is Naomi Joy Knits. Yeah, just grab me on Instagram if you can't find the Discord server. I'll send you a link and you can join and chat with people. I've got a chat for the oddball along, which I'm doing with Caroline from Caroline's Knits. We've got a chat for that, so you can post pictures of what you're thinking of trying to use, or anything to do with the oddball along. And there's just a general chat space, and then there's the knit party area where you can join in video and audio and chat to people in real time. So yeah, head over there if you'd like to, and if not, I'll see you next time. Have a lovely time. Bye.